Hi everyone, back to Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with a match preview video on Newcastle United's upcoming game tonight against West Ham down at London, or down in the London Stadium, or whatever the hell it's called these days. I can't remember the hell the West Ham Stadium's called. I just know they got it for Nout. So we're heading down there, 8 o'clock kickoff live on Sky tonight. Newcastle United sitting third in the Premier League. West Ham just out of the relegation zone as well. So it should be a really good game. We're going to get stuck right into this in a minute. Talk about how we think the team's going to line up and where we think the game may be won, and just a little bit about the head-to-head stats. So just before we do, a reminder, if you haven't already, please click that subscribe button. We'd love you to come and join us. We're over 2,600 subscribers now, so thank you so much to everybody who smashed that button. Follow my rant video about a certain toe-sucking midfield legend in the Premier League. So I really appreciate you coming on board, guys. Hope you enjoy the content. Loads of Newcastle United chats. So yeah, keep it evermore. We'll have loads more videos coming for you in the coming weeks. So let's get stuck right into this. And yes, so as we say, Newcastle United are fresh off the back of a 2-0 demolition of Manchester United. In truth, it should have been about 5-0. If it wasn't for David De Gea, we were absolutely scintillating, sensational at the weekend. And every other alliteration I can use the word S, superb. We were brilliant. So, you know, everyone to a player, you know, from keeper to striker, was magnificent at the weekend. It was great to see Callum Wilson come off the bench as well and get a goal. This is also the footballers' football podcast derby as well between Callum Wilson and Mikel Antonio, although both of them might not even start the game. But I'm sure they'll come on at some point and try and have an impact on the game. They've been having a bit of crack in the lead up to this game as well, which is really good. I really enjoy what those guys do. It's great banter. But let's get stuck into the lineup. You know, how do we think Newcastle United are going to line up? This is a real easy one. We think they're going to be completely unchanged from the win against Manchester United. Just knowing Eddie Howe and the way he is, I think he'll reward that result, and he'll keep an unchanged lineup. I know Willock had a bit of a limp when he come off the pitch, but I think it's just cramp. He had that cheeky little smile all over his face when he was talking about whether he's going to be fit for the game or not. Obviously, Willock was brilliant the weekend. He got his goal. Should have really got 2 or 3. You know, a real key member of this team at the minute. The shifts he's put in for the last few weeks. He's you know, I'd love to see the form guide of him in that position, in his position over the last kind of 3 or 4 games. He's got to be right up there at the top of the Premier League, you know, rightly so. People talking about England recognition for him in the mainstream media, and why not? Sean Longstaff, again, a brilliant season from him. He's just a Duracell bunny. He's everywhere. You know, he could have got a screamer at the weekend as well. So, and Bruno was back to his best. So I think that midfield will stay the same. Up front as well, Alexander Isak, I don't know what other superlatives we can use to talk about this player. He's just magnificent. Maxi was great at the weekend as well, so I think he'll get another nod. And Murphy will probably continue. Murphy's really starting to look like he's been developed by Eddie Howe as well. So, you know, it's no longer a case that, you know, I look through my fingers when I see Murphy in the lineup. I think he's really doing everything he can to deserve that spot in the team. But, you know, Joe Linton is back. Anthony Gordon's fit. So we could see Eddie Howe doing a squad rotation here. I'm not entirely sure whether he will or not. But, you know, knowing what I know of Eddie Howe, I think he'll probably keep it the same. And that back five is steady. And kudos to anybody for brownie points who spotted that Mark did not try and sneak Matt Target into this lineup this week. So well done, Mark, for making sure everybody's face fits. So that's how we think the lads are going to line up. But as we say, there could easily be some squad rotation, especially with this April, which is just so much football crammed into 1 month, really. And it's great to have options on the bench. You know, I think a few guys have said that in the comments on the last couple of videos that we've done. You know, you look at the bench and you got Gordon, you got Wilson, you got Joe Linton, you got Elliot Anderson, who all came on against Manchester United and all impacted the game, you know, did something in the game. You know, young Anderson, again, no fear, running at players, great to see. It's great to have a bench where you've got options, because for so long now we've had no options there. I mean, it wasn't even a few months ago we had Matt Ritchie coming off the bench. In all fairness to Matt Ritchie, this is his last season as a Newcastle United player. Shouldn't have really seen that. So, yeah, it's great to see some options coming off the bench. But, you know, in terms of this game, in terms of West Ham as well, I mean, West Ham, in terms of the injury worries for them, they are missing Gianluca Scamacca, their big summer signing or big money signing, the Italian striker. It's not quite worked for Scamacca, but he's going to miss the game with a knee issue. So Danny Ings will be leading the line. I like Danny Ings. You know, I think Danny Ings has got something about him, but he's lacking pace now. He's losing that pace, and I think that's probably why Villa let him go. They've got Paqueta, and I think more importantly, they've got Declan Rice in the middle of that park, and Declan Rice really was the difference at St James's Park. I think had he not been there, we probably would have steamrolled this team. But when we went 1-0 up, Declan Rice took the game by the scruff of the neck, really, and he really controlled that midfield. So our midfield is going to have to be at it today or tonight to get the better of Declan Rice. But I think looking at the way Bruno played at the weekend, just little, stud rolls and nutmegs and the amount of passes he got off, and I think if Bruno's in the mood, Declan Rice is going to have one of his really, really best games of the season to deal with Bruno Guimaraes in that mood, So I'd like to think that Bruno could maybe get one up over them. He missed the game. I think he was suspended for the last time we played. I'm pretty sure he was suspended. I think he was, yeah. And his mate Lucas Paqueta will be playing defensive midfield against him as well. So a little bit of a sidebar there as well with those two massive friends from Lyon. We all thought Paqueta might sign for Newcastle, being such a good friend of Bruno's, but never happened in the end. But yeah, it should be a good midfield battle, and midfield battle is going to be key in this game, I think, because of Declan Rice's influence. Within this West Ham team, they struggled this season. They really have struggled. Looking at the head-to-head and obviously looking at the league position as well, they're sitting in 14th. I mean, that relegation picture, I'm so glad we're not in that at the minute, because it could be one of about 9 teams that go down. Seems as that the entire second half of the Premier League is in a relegation battle. So I'm so glad we're nowhere near that. But I think pulling themselves out of the relegation battle, scruffy win against Southampton could be a huge confidence boost for West Ham. So they could go into this game, really looking like they want to get back-to-back wins and try and get themselves as far away from the trapdoor as humanly possible. But, we've won 3 of our last 5 there. We're going to this game in great form. Everybody seems to be bang at it, so in terms of West Ham, that they'll probably be worried, of what Newcastle United could bring into this game, certainly the form that we're in, and hopefully, the lads can do the business. But a little bit on the head-to-heads, 49 Premier Leagues over the league games over the Premier League era, 22 wins for us, 14. I think I'm supposed to say West Ham. Mark's catching me out here. I just drove about 5 hours back from Shropshire to get back home, and I've spotted that, Mark. 14 wins, I think, for West Ham, 13 draws. Goals, for us, 80 goals, 62 for them, I think, in the 49 games. So yeah, it's the last 2 league games finished 1-1. We're unbeaten in 3 games, against West Ham, and obviously Wilson is the hot shot against West Ham. He loves a goal against West Ham. I don't think he'll start, though. I think Isak will start. But I do think Wilson will get some game time in this game, because I think, Callum Wilson will definitely have a chance to impact this game. West Ham is his Leeds, or Shearer's Leeds. He always gets a goal against West Ham, and I know they'll be wary of Callum Wilson off the bench, which is a great threat to have, to be honest with you. I think it's great to have that option off the bench, and I think Callum realises how well Alexander Isak is playing in what he's bringing to the team as overall play, not just as a centre forward. So as much as he's making jokes about it on his podcast, he realises that he has to do a lot to get Alex out that side, and it's great to have that competition between the two. But how do you think the game is going to go? I think we will win this game 2-1 is what I think we will do. I don't think it's going to be a landslide by any stretch. It'll be a tough game. I think West Ham will come at us, with everything they've got. I think they might get a goal. Like I said, they're 2-1. But I think we'll have enough just to nick it in the end. I think 2-1. I'm going to go for Callum Wilson winner off the bench. So hopefully that will be the result, and it'll keep us in the picture for the top 4. We've had an unbelievable series of events, really, in terms of results for the team. Spurs fell over, drawing against Everton. Liverpool have just drawn tonight against Chelsea. Obviously, we took points off Manchester United. If we can win this game as well, it puts even more daylight between us and Spurs, and we've got them in a couple of weeks as well. So, we really could, put ourselves in an even further driving seat position for this top 4. So absolutely brilliant. So I hope the lads can do it, get the result. We'll be jumping on with a live post-match reaction straight after the game. So make sure you come and check it out, guys, and evermore. And as I mentioned, if you haven't already subscribed, come and join us. Loads of Newcastle United chat and stats here. More than welcome. We're just over 2,600 subscribers now. And like I say, just come and smash the button. If you could, please like the video as well. It really helps the channel grow, helps get it around YouTube. So until then, let's keep supporting that team of Core United. Let's look forward to another 3 points, hopefully, for Eddie Howe's top 4 mags tonight. And we can't wait to hear that Champions League music playing next season. However, lads, we'll catch you later. Cheers.